Hello, everyone, and welcome to Exploring PTS Primo Charts. This is our number 14 lesson. We are going to talk about, we're going to keep talking about the file menu, and we're going to go to the backup manager and see how to do the backups and what is the reset bars. So I'm going to put the PTS Primo Charts on the screen. And we are talking about the file menu. On the top left, you see the file option. Last week, we talked about the settings. Today, we're going to talk about the backup manager and the reset bars. So let me go back to the charts and suppose that you have a workspace like the one that I have that you like to keep. So in this one, I have a multi-scanner, I have a portfolio manager, and 2 charts. I want to keep those. So the first thing that I do is to save the current workspace. That's the one that I want to keep. If you go to File and then you go to Backup Manager, you can create a backup of whatever you have on PTS Primo Charts. That includes the workspaces, the templates, the data feed connection that you have. So I'm going to create the backup, just clicking Create Backup, and you can check which items do you want to backup. So templates, workspaces, the symbol lists, and the indicator settings. I'm going to uncheck the pie because I don't use that one, and just click Create, and the backup was created. So now what I'm going to do is, let's say that I delete this chart, the 2-hour chart, and why not this one too? I'm going to delete that. I'm going to undo everything, and I'm going to delete the multi-scanner. And then I say, wow, I deleted everything. I want to restore what I had before. So that's what we're going to talk about now. You want to restore what you had before, you have 2 options. One of them is just to go back and save the current workspace. But if you don't, you can go to the last workspace. And if you try to upload it, it's going to upload with what you have. So the only time that that will happen is if you close the charting system, or if you save the, let me delete this. If you save the current space, there's no more changes. If you save the current space as it is, then if you go to the last workspace, this is what you're going to have. So now you need to restore the backup. If you go to File, Backup Manager, and Restore Backup, click on that. You're going to restore templates, workspaces, symbol lists, and indicator settings. Let me go to the directory. You have 3 dots in front of the directory. And if you click on those 3 dots and you scroll down a little bit, you're going to find the backups that you have created so far. So today is March the 2nd, the 23rd. And this is the backup that I want to restore. Actually, you could restore older backups, okay? But I just want to restore this one. I click OK, which is today's one that I created. And I'm going to replace the existing files and restore. When you do that, nothing happens, okay? So what you have to do is, again, go to your last workspace and upload it. And that will upload the backup as you had it. So that's the only thing that people tend to forget, is to go back to the workspace and upload it so you have the one that you had before. And that's the restoration of the backup. So probably you have to repeat the instructions, repeat this video to know how to do that. So again, in a nutshell, you save the workspace. That's the first thing. If you don't save the workspace, the backup that you're going to have does not include the latest changes that you had on your workspace. And after saving your workspace, you go and create the backup. And when you restore the backup, the only thing that you have to do is kind of reset the workspace so it will reflect the restoring of your backup. The second topic that we're going to talk about is the reset bars. So reset bars, sometimes when you're playing around with the charts, something less like this could happen. So if I go to one of these like dotted lines here, I actually can move those items around. So every time that you have like a dotted line on the menus, you can move them around, left clicking and move them around. So this is now looking like pretty messy, okay? So if it happens to you for whatever reason, you can go to the file and reset bars, reset bars. So there are two ways to reset bars. This one is the way that is by default on PTS Primo Charts. And the second one, which is Steven Primo's. So when you go to webinars with Steven Primo's, he likes to use his platform in this way. So as you notice, because maybe he has like a bigger screen, but as you notice on the right-hand side of my screen, I don't see all of the strategies. I cannot see a strategy number 4, strategy number 5. So this one doesn't work for me because my screen is not as big as his. So I'm gonna use the default one, which is the one that I use. And that's how you fix those menus if they get moved around. Like I'm gonna do that again in file, like many times like this happens. It also depends on the sensitivity of your mouse. So again, you just go to file, reset bars, and that will shift them around to where they were as a default. So those were the two topics that we were talking, we had for today. So I'm gonna give you 30 seconds for a question, but if you don't have any questions, next webinar is going to be on March the 9th at 12:30 in the noon, okay? And we will probably talk about the view menu, okay? So that's for next week. Okay, so have a nice afternoon and see you next week, hopefully. Thank you for coming.